Konami, I hate you. I really do. As much as I don't like you, I gotta admit you brought us a lot of great memories. Gradius, Metal Gear Solid, I miss those days. But you know what I really miss? Old games that never get another chances. This usually happens with older titles where Konami made one or two games before abandoning the whole series as a whole. Case in point, arcade games. Road Fighter is definitely a name that we all heard of at least once. Don't lie, you even play this as well. So what is Road Fighter? It's a top-down racing game released in the arcade in November of 1984 before being one of the famous NES games in the following year. Your objective is simple. Drive your car and reach the finish line. While you're at it, you'll have to dodge all the traffic that seems to be targeted towards you and won't hesitate to slam the f out of you. Like, look at this. I'm just minding my own business and this idiot here decides to swerve into my lane. I swear everyone hates me. Not only just that, you also need to keep an eye on your depleting fuel that drains like a waterfall. It happens so quickly that one single mistake and it's all over. That's basically my life in a nutshell. The game can be unforgiving with the limitation of allocated fuels, which puts your skill to the test. Although there's not much to do in this game, but the depleting fuel along with aggressive rivals on track will keep you coming back for more. And that's why I miss the good old days. Like I said, Road Fighter is a pretty popular game and many remember this. But did you know there's also a sequel that was not known to many? And as the name suggests, you can say it's a sequel to the original Road Fighter. Though I don't understand why they put Midnight Run in front. It's like pressing the circle to proceed in Japan, while pressing X in the other country. It was then ported to Sony PlayStation on November 27, 1997 in Japan, while Europe got the game on January 1st, 1998. Sorry American, you don't get anything. We will be fully focusing on the console version. Oh boy, first game to play on the first day of a new year. This gotta be good, right? Right? Spoiler, it's not. First up is the gameplay. The most important aspect of the game, considering it's a whole different game compared to the predecessor. Gone are the needs to pick up items to refill your car, as you can take your car from start to finish without much problem. I guess the economy is better now. Also, gone are the explosions from the first game, which is a good thing as you won't be staring at your failure for 5 seconds straight, but you can still crash yourself out if you're not careful. The consequences won't affect you too much and it allows you to make some mistake. The game lets you pick between 4 cars along with 3 tracks vary by their difficulties. You have not Skyline, you have not Supra, not RX-7 and not NXX, all of which unfortunately controls just the same with no stats advantage against each other. So you can just stick with the Skyline because it's the best JDM car. Fight me. There's also the option to use Tune, which lets you select cars with tune upgrades to make you go faster. But as far as I know, the speed difference aren't that major. They also added a transmission option, but with a twist. While other racing games ask you to make your choice before each races, here you can do it while you are racing. Okay then, not that I will use it anyway, but at the same time, I could accidentally process it and mess up the race itself. Thanks for that, Konami. There are a total of 3 tracks with different difficulties which are self-explanatory. Just like virtual racing, the Sunset Track, as the name suggests, is basically a track taking place on a highway during sunset. The road is wide and you can practice your driving skills anytime you want. There are starlight heats taking place in the night time with the road much narrower. There's also a branching path that you can take which cuts down your lap time but also can bite you back if you're not careful. And finally, the Midnight Run, taking place during the midnight hour. At least I think this is midnight. The hardest course as the road is the tightest, leaving no room for error. Each courses will test your reaction and skills whether on how you get past the traffic while also trying to race against the rivals. It's exhilarating, if you could call it, but for me, it only lasts for just an hour or so. The game is just too easy. What you're watching so far is basically me playing on the hardest difficulty. The timer doesn't run out too quickly, so you could afford some mistake, and the only big challenge quote unquote is winning the race. That's it. I beat the hardest track, but I don't feel happy, and I don't know why. New to this game that I don't think I see anywhere else, in each races there are 2 special cars that roam around the road. The not Porsche is basically the equivalent of best lap. Get past him to beat the lap record. The other is this white sedan, not Mercedes, that doesn't serve any purposes other than just being there. You are being told to overtake him in order to qualify for the lap record, which is pretty cool I guess. But I kinda wish it builds up to something else, like if I beat those 2 cars and win the race, I can challenge them with another race. How cool would that be? The not Porsche is a subtle reference to Blackbird in Wangan series. There's also these references where they wait at the side of the road before the race begins. Oh, and also you drive on the highway. Other than that, there's no other stuff that references Wangan. So you could say this is a Wangan wannabe without the license. And that's about the pros that I can mention, because everything else are mediocre to say the least. First is obviously the controls of the car, which feels very twitchy and sensitive. Seeing that you can now control the 360 direction of the car, it makes sense, but not for the good reason. The moment you tap the D-pad, the car then snaps to that direction. Even the slightest tap could affect the direction of your car, which doesn't sound too bad, but when you try it out, you will understand what I mean. Yes, you could say this is an arcade game, but other arcade racer released previously doesn't have this problem. For example, Ridge Racer, although it's a launch title, controls just well with no sensitive input. How about Ray Tracers, which came out around the same time as Midnight Run, also don't have such issues. When you come back to this game, the controls feel very unnatural. Like what I said, you will be wrestling with the D-pad in order to get the accurate input, even if you weren't able to get an accurate input anyway. When you think you're in a straight line, it went to a different line, even when you're driving on a long straightaway. It's not as bad as Rallycross 2, where the game is literally unplayable, but Midnight Run could give you a similar experience. You won't really have too much problem on the easy course, but when the roads get tighter on higher difficulty, the issue will come up frequently. While you can memorize a track, but don't forget the control itself plays half portion of the entirety of the game, and let me tell you, I tried remembering the course layout as much as I could, but this control is driving me insane. While this steering can be a pain, it also can be good, at least on the flip side. You can negotiate the corner easily with the help of the twitchiness steering. You can pretty much drift through each turn without even applying the brake even once. See this button? You won't even use it anyway. All three courses works well with this approach. I guess the quote, "a weakness can be converted into advantage," works here. Not only you have to race against your rivals, but also against the traffic. The traffic can be a big nuisance, as they are always in your damn way. Everything doesn't work on your favor. You touch this bus, you slow down. You touch this car, you slow down. You touch this bike, you slow down. We are supposed to be the best car on the streets. How could we lose to them? Just like maximum speed, the rubber banding here is ridiculous. Even when you think you are leading, the AI will just blast past you like it was nothing. I swear every time I take the lead, the damn AI come out of nowhere. Granted, I could see where they are thanks to the map, which is a godsend, not only against the annoying traffic, but also the ridiculous AI. With the map, I can actually pinpoint their trajectory and put a block. Aha, take that, you cheater! Sometimes they even slow down for no reason to let you pass, but then overtakes you again. Like, why would you make me feel bad? That's all I gotta say with the gameplay. Next up is the graphics, which looks terrible. Now, not just nowadays, but also back in 1997 standard. The cars themselves and the environment looks pretty blocky and blurry. Doesn't matter from which perspective you're looking at, far or close, the blockiness is apparent and it kinda takes me out of the immersion. The game's sprites keep popping up here and there regardless of which part of the track you are on. I wish I can hide it, but it's so obvious being there waiting for you to spot. Take a look at this. This is the footage from the arcade version. Nothing wrong, right? Well, don't blink, because this is the console version. Seriously, I can't believe they managed to ignore this problem. Like, I'm okay if the cutscene doesn't run at a steady frame rate, but come on, this just looks awful. It's like someone just ripped the arcade version and straight up slams into the desk without even fixing anything. Like, what is this, 2005 YouTube? 144p quality? Seriously? Konami, what are you doing? Remember, the game came out in 1997. The same year, Ray Tracers, Rally Cross, Toka Touring Car Championship, and Gran Turismo came out. And you telling me this is the best you could do? Come on! And for the final cons, there's nothing to do with this game. Sure, you have 4 cars and 3 tracks to choose from, but like what I said earlier, the game as a whole is easy, even on the hardest difficulty. The game, when you have enough playtime experience, will be easy at all costs. As much as the controls can be infuriating, but when you manage it well, the game becomes a cakewalk, and you beat the game easily. And when you do beat the game, congratulations! You just wasted your time with this game. Nothing new was unlocked, no new modes, nothing to play, nothing. That's it? Nothing else to play? And that is Road Fighter 2. Heck, even the home port of Ray Storm and Ray Crisis got something else to offer. But this one? I don't even know what Konami is thinking. I mean, no one is getting excited for Midnight Run as far as I know, and certainly nobody asked for the home port. But they didn't stop here. They went on to release Winding Heat, which drops off the Road Fighter name and is just a sequel to Midnight Run, so it's a game that stands on its own. But hey, we're not done yet though, because we got one more game to talk about. To do that, we have to rewind the clock all the way back to October of 1985. Konami GT is released on the arcade, and you might be thinking, What does this have to do with Road Fighter? Well, if you take a look at the Japanese version, then your question has been answered. Still not convinced? Well, take a look at the gameplay. Yup, I don't think I need to explain too much anymore. Konami GT, you could say, is basically a direct sequel to Road Fighter, but for some reason, they decide to do the opposite and not acknowledge anything. It's like going to a cafe and you order a dark chocolate donut, but then they give you chocolate donut. It's basically dark chocolate, but they decide to change the name. Why would they do that? I don't know. Anyway, the gameplay is also changed. See, even my phone is telling me this is a sequel to Road Fighter. Anyway, the gameplay is also changed. Top-down perspective is now being replaced by a first-person view, giving you a sense of immersion as you race against a rival. This time around, you are racing on a long course with checkpoints scattered across the map, and as like what the arcade expert would say, the game will get harder quickly. So yeah, you drive your car, get your past the rival, pick up the gas and reach the checkpoint. There's also some stuff they change. Touching the wall does not cause your car to explode. Instead, you just come to a slow crawl, which is a good thing because you're not surrounded by death anymore. But in return, they also took something valuable. Remember in original Road Fighter where touching other cars will cause you to spin out? Well, if you touch them here, you die. Simple as that. You can't even make any contact in the slightest because you will still die from the explosion. Oh come on, how am I supposed to weave through that in the middle? There's no space. Seriously? I die from a bike? Come on, this crawl is weak. Wow, suddenly this game becomes brutal, and I'm not sure if I enjoy this change or not. At least in original Road Fighter, if you touch anyone, you can slow down and try to save the car from crashing. But here, one mistake and say goodbye to your car. What do you all think? Comment below. There's also this new thing called turbo mode, which increases your speed when you use it, but at the same time, you burn your fuel much quicker. Pick your poison. Do you want to go fast while also running out of fuel? Or do you want to go slow and then run slow on fuel as well? There's no middle ground. Overall, you could say this is a good follow-up to Road Fighter, but more challenging, and it's up to you. They are ready for more challenge. The game wouldn't see any home port though until 2010 when it was made available on PC and Microsoft Game Room on Xbox 360, and you can check it out. Oh wait, you can't. So yeah, those two are the Road Fighter sequels that you probably forgot. One of them tries to do something else, but the experience is bare bones, and I wish they don't use the Road Fighter name. The other is a true sequel to Road Fighter, but not much seems to remember. Overall, I would rather stick with the original Road Fighter because in my opinion, these two just doesn't live up to their name. And I guess they are forgotten for a good reason. Wait, what do you mean there's one more Road Fighter game? I don't think there's another one. I might be forgetting some. No, that's not Road Fighter. I refuse to believe it. That's all I gotta say with this video. If you enjoyed what you see, be sure to like, share, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. Comment below your opinion on these two games. Do you like the original or these two sequels? Let's have a peaceful discussion. And if you want to follow me what I'm doing, follow me on Twitter because I'm mostly active there, and also my YouTube community. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.